Join me on a journey to explore the mysteries of ancient Egypt, where we'll unravel secrets that only the stones of the past can reveal. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and support this deep dive into history, which inspires me to create more fascinating content for you. Every now and then, artistic reconstructions of the Giza pyramids pop up on my feed, and I must admit they leave me with mixed emotions. On one hand, I am captivated by the vivid depictions of the pyramids covered in their original polished white limestone casing. Most people are unaware that the pyramids once had such a glamorous appearance, and it's hard to believe that almost all of the limestone casing was removed and hauled away over the centuries. On the other hand, the portrayals of massive golden capstones often seem a bit far-fetched, as it's extremely unlikely that any large pyramid ever had such a feature. Let's begin with the stunning Tura limestone. The Bent Pyramid is the only large pyramid that still retains a significant portion of its white casing stones today. Though weathered by wind, rain, and pollution, these stones could, in theory, be restored to their former glory if enough tourist dollars made it worthwhile. The Bent Pyramid has retained most of its casing stones thanks to factors that made it less attractive to looters. The most significant reason is that its casing stones were installed at a slight upward tilt, making them harder to dislodge. More importantly, this design resisted thermal expansion, which is a key factor in stone deterioration. Thermal expansion occurs when the heat of the sun causes limestone to expand slightly. If there are no gaps in the joints, this expansion pushes the stone outward, eventually causing it to crack or fall off. The Bent Pyramid's design, with wider joints, allowed each stone to expand and contract without being forced off. In contrast, the Great Pyramid's precise, flat courses made its stones more vulnerable to thermal expansion, leading them to loosen over time. Peter James, a structural engineer and author of Saving the Pyramids*, discusses in detail how thermal expansion contributed to the failure of the limestone casing on the pyramids of the 4th dynasty. Loose stones are much easier to quarry, so the stripping of the Great Pyramid may not have been as daunting as it first seems. Additionally, the Bent Pyramid's casing stones were not as finely cut as those on other pyramids. They were smaller and more irregular, requiring more effort to rework. This made the Bent Pyramid a less appealing target for looters, preserving many of its stones for us to appreciate today. The preservation of casing stones at the top of Khufu's pyramid likely resulted from another twist of fate. The masonry beneath the intact upper layer of casing is beautifully arranged and neatly joined, while the stones below look rough and irregular. This discrepancy is due to a rough, sloppy fill layer used between the casing stones and the pyramid's inner structure. A catastrophic collapse of this loose fill may have occurred, causing the stones below to fall into disarray. With the casing stones still intact at the summit, no one dared risk their life to remove them. Less fortunate were the pyramid capstones, known as pyramidions. Their precarious position made them the most vulnerable part of each pyramid, which explains why so few have survived. There is a poorly executed reconstruction of a pyramidion that allegedly belonged to the Red Pyramid, but its angle of inclination doesn't match that of the pyramid itself. This discrepancy raises questions about the authenticity of this reconstruction. Perhaps, like the Bent Pyramid, the Red Pyramid originally had a 10 degrees steeper inclination. The speculation surrounding the different angles of these pyramids opens up fascinating debates, though it's likely the reconstructed pyramidion will only raise more questions. One of the most well-preserved pyramidions comes from a satellite pyramid at Giza. It's undecorated and small, just like any other white limestone block from a pyramid summit. The most intriguing feature is that the bottom surface is convex, so it would fit into a concave recess in the stones below. This design helped secure the pyramidion and prevent it from being displaced by natural forces. As for the idea of enormous gilded pyramidions, some examples come from much later pyramids, such as the Black Pyramid of Amenhotep III. These later pyramidions often combined gilding with hieroglyphic inscriptions, but these features did not exist in the original pyramids of the 4th dynasty. The large pyramids of Giza would have been blindingly bright under the sun, and the small gilded capstone would likely have been lost against the glare. The ancient Egyptians would have understood the importance of contrast in their design. Dark granite or basalt pyramidions would have stood out beautifully against the white limestone of the pyramids. This is likely why Amenhotep's pyramidion used dark granite, it provided visual contrast and was more durable against the elements. While we may never know for sure if dark pyramidions were used in the Great Pyramids of the 4th Dynasty, we can be confident that the choice of materials was made with visual impact in mind. The reflective properties of dark granite would have made the pyramidion stand out against the surrounding white limestone, just as the ancient Egyptians intended. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Please subscribe, like, and comment as you see fit. And remember to ask your friends if they're taking their history for granted.